Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your host, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Yeah, buddy. Today, we're talking about the Grand Opera House, Chicago. A wild story, y'all.
Yeah.
Just a wild story of this. We'll get into it. But first, how are y'all doing?
I hope you're doing great.
Yeah, same. I hope you're doing great, too.
I hope all your dreams are coming true.
Yeah, buddy. Or I hope you getting what you deserve. That's what you say.
That too. I hope.
Hope all is what it is for you. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up with this energy?
You started it.
No. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm actually really good because I feel like this week solidified my belief that mermaids exist.
Oh, man.
This
Here we
is
go
a
with
shout
this
out
bullshit.
for all the OG listeners that were here a couple years ago when we were on that mermaid tangent.
Like 8 episodes straight, 2 months straight.
Yeah. Well, now we know that they could be real because we have aliens popping in and out of the ocean. Who the fuck knows?
Where did this even come from?
What you mean?
Where did this even come from? How did this even start? Some people got together and was like, yeah, that shit real. Congress and shit.
No, well, not Congress.
Not Congress. But I mean, who knows? Congress got to be real.
There was 3 dudes.
Random ass dudes.
No, not random. One was like from the Navy. They're government people, and they were like at a hearing, and they made claims that they have that there's aliens popping in and out of the ocean.
Have they been checked for PTSD?
Of what? From
Maybe they Navy. Who knows what they have seen down there?
they're not all from the Navy.
Okay.
And I mean, we know aliens exist. Duh. Like
do we?
Yes,
Do we?
the Pentagon released like actual previously classified footage.
Have they?
They literally did.
Where?
Unless you're like that person that like doesn't believe anything the government says, then whatever, be a conspiracy theorist. But this is a conspiracy theory I'm willing to believe is that aliens are living in the ocean and mermaids are real. Why do you think Starbucks makes so much money?
We've been looking for
'Cause they got
space.
sirens.
We've been looking for space, aliens in space this whole time, and this shit been on Earth.
We haven't been looking for them. But well, here's the thing. You know how like people say 80% of the oceans haven't been like explored?
Yeah.
But we've explored more of space than we have of the oceans. So these aliens just living peacefully in the. But I saw a video.
He's just chilling.
This is not a fact. Okay, this is just a funny video I saw. I thought it was funny. So there was a few months ago. There was a phenomenon where orcas were attacking yachts and boats and like big billionaire ships, not ships, yachts. And so someone said, what if the orcas were working with the aliens trying to eradicate the billionaires? I'm here for it. Eradicate them.
Aliens ain't real.
What do you mean aliens aren't real? Don't be that person.
They're not
You
real.
think the universe is just us?
Well, maybe, I don't know about that. Maybe. You know what? I'm not gonna discredit that, but mermaids definitely not real.
You can't say definite. Here's the thing, you can't say definitely about anything because you don't know. You don't know. You know like 7 things,
Look,
and one of them isn't mermaid.
I can't go down this path
I'm just saying.
with you again.
I'm just saying.
Y'all, I can't do this
I'm
with
the
her.
kind of person that like, I can't say anything for sure, yes or no, because I don't know.
What do we? Why do we want mermaids to be real in the first place? They're not gonna look like Little Mermaid.
I know
She was 16-year-old anyway. We don't need to be checking that out anyway. we don't need her to look like that anyway. But like,
well, I know that they don't look like the real mermaid, Little Mermaid.
they look scary, probably.
Probably.
A bone fish.
Yeah.
I mean, the
A human fish.
Ooh boy. Anyway,
Listen, I'm here for it.
I'm not. I'm not here for the.
I let the aliens save us. Actually, please come save us.
Some of us. What if they came up and start picking people who was right, who was wrong?
They Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos our
they
asses.
did. This is what we need now.
Listen, if there's a time,
we need Thanos. This is what he was talking about.
50% to be eradicated.
This is what he was talking about in the movies.
No, he was talking about overpopulation.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
he wasn't really eradicating people based on morality.
Yeah. He was just talking
He was
about,
like,
man.
Did you take away human rights? Eradicate it. No, he wasn't doing that.
He was just talking about, man,
anybody.
we're running out of resources, man. I'm trying to eat.
Yeah, he said anybody can get it.
Yeah. Right. He putting everybody on the scale. Yeah, you fool. You gone. Snap.
Yeah.
Anyway, this week is particularly a fun week because we opening up the Backdrop Studio and we have a release party.
Yeah, a little soft launch.
Soft launch for it. Can't wait for it to open.
A little soft launch.
That's how all launches start. Oh man.
Some people go hard launch immediately.
I mean, you
No
wake up.
soft
You
launch.
wake up. You know what I mean? Shit.
It's a hard launch.
Anyway, yo, man, damn, this is crazy. No, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. You don't realize how much money goes into what you train. What the fuck is going on over there? Y'all didn't hear that
Hard
little
launching.
boing boing? That definitely hard
The
launch.
tripod hard launched.
Anyway, yeah, enough of that. I guess let's move on past that. This is gonna be a fun week.
Yeah.
Also, look,
Exciting.
I do want to say this before we record this well before the Bears play.
On Sunday.
On Sunday, and I don't know the score. I don't know this, but
I mean, I could tell you the score.
no, we playing the Packers.
I could.
It could go either way, but for the most part, it's gonna go the other way.
For the most part,
It's gonna go left. Do you know the Packers
It's gonna
have
go
won?
one way
The
only.
Packers have won the last 10 meetings. We play each other twice a year, mind you.
damn. So that's at least 5 years.
That's a long ass time. We ain't won against them.
Well, isn't Buddy gone now? That
It don't matter. We ain't won against the next buddy.
what's his name?
You talking about Aaron Rodgers, but
Yeah.
I mean, he having a fuck of a year too. He
he-
he talked all that shit, and now his team still suck. Ask about we need pieces. We need the right pieces.
You know why? Because he didn't create a culture for winning.
You know what it is? It's because he is a trash bag. That's what that.
Yeah,
that's
he's
why.
also a shitty person.
Yeah, trash bag. That's he getting everything he deserves. So
Yeah.
but
And that's
but,
what I'm saying. I hope you get the day you deserve.
you know, I ain't mad at Jordan Love, the new quarterback of the Packers, but forget him. Forget him too.
Yeah.
You part of that coach. You part of the team. You part of the culture. I don't care about you.
Yeah.
I hope the Bears do well, but honestly, the Bears been pissing me off. We don't need no new
When
stadium
are they not pissing you off?
at the start of the season.
Okay.
The first
you
game.
forget.
The first game.
It's like women in childbirth. They forget the pain, and then they are about to have another baby, and they're like, "Fuck,
everybody
this shit hurt, didn't it?"
Everybody deserves a fair shake. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Except the Bears.
No.
I'm just playing.
They just have a short ass leash. You know, that's all it is.
I mean, they've lost a bajillion games this season.
No, they ain't a bajillion. They
How
still
many?
They only lost 6 games. It's
Out
not
of
10. Here's the thing. There's other teams that only won one. You know what I mean? Like, so like
40% is not a passing grade.
it's better than what the Bears have been doing. So I mean, like,
I guess.
and you got a lot of games. You got a whole 7 games left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's not over.
And we got
By any-
new people. You know,
Here's the crazy part
Buddy
about
got
it.
fired.
Yeah. Here's the crazy part about the Bears season. It's like it always goes like this. We didn't get eliminated from the playoffs last year until like 3 weeks left in the season. It was like 3 or 4 weeks left in the season, like a month left. Which that last year was a trash season. It felt like it. It was bad. So the fact that we didn't get eliminated until the very end of the year, I mean, that's just how Bears seasons go. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Bears are nowhere near out of it. The problem is that our division is the best division in baseball in football right now. And in order for us to even kind of be in the playoff mix, which we still are, we got to be like number 2.
Yeah.
But also, we now have the hardest schedule remaining in all of. We came in with like the 3rd easiest schedule.
And now it's
the hardest because we got all of our divisional games.
I'm gonna be so real with you. My attention span for this
Hey,
conversation.
let's get going in.
I'm saying you lost me and 50% of the listeners.
Yeah,
I think here's the thing. I think that had you if this wasn't the like if you ever decide you want to change careers, I think a sports commentator is the perfect fit for you.
Because
you know so much
I would break
about
this shit down.
sports.
Yeah, I do.
And like you actually know so much technical stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Like you explain things in a way that like the average person with an IQ of like 50 can understand.
I appreciate that. You know, I wish I could do something like that. Like,
I mean, you could.
I wanted to.
I wish.
No. I wanted to do something like this. Like with my career path, I wanted to before I went to
Right, right.
college. I wanted to do something like this.
What qualifications do sport commentators need to have?
Here's what it is. It's public speaking and it's ability to like correlate these what you're talking about to the audience. You know what I'm saying? And like to timeliness. You know all that kind of shit. Because I
Do you
can
need
know
to have
sports.
a career in sports?
You need to know about sports. You don't have to have a career in sports, but it helps because
Right.
now you got context
Yeah.
that you can actually relate to and be like, hey,
Yeah.
so I'm not just critiquing people and be like, well, can you do that?
You should hit up Chicago Sports Night and be like, y'all hiring?
Right. I mean, shit, I could get up there. I watched enough basketball, football,
You
hockey. Now, hockey, I couldn't do. I couldn't do hockey.
Well, I mean, do sports commentators do all the sports?
No, right.
Yeah.
But see, I want to be like a Stephen A. Smith type of.
No idea who that is.
You don't know Stephen A. Smith, the black dude.
The bald guy? No,
he's not bald. It's just his hairline is just that far back.
Okay.
By the time you see his shit,
is that the guy that every time you look at him, his hairline goes further back?
Man, no, you're talking about the other dude that we just saw. But
yeah, who was that?
I don't know, but Stephen A. got the same thing. He's a good. That's just the example I want to use. But like, there's a bunch of other people that they do multiple sports, cross sports. Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp was a football player. That's a better example. He was a football player, like Hall of Fame football player.
That's like my main experience is like people are athletes or coaches or like something in sports and then become sports commentators. I don't know. Or you have to be like a journalist, right?
Yeah, I guess I could go that direction, say I'm a journalist because I have watched a lot of sports.
Research journalist.
I research the fuck out of shit.
You know?
There's a lot of cursing in there.
You can't say that, though.
I was a lot of cursing. Anyway. Y'all ready to get going?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Grand Opera House.
I got a job for Dario.
Yeah, right.
He needs a fourth job.
Look, I get up there and I commentate.
No, you got too many jobs. You got too many jobs. You got to let go
of one. About to open up a goddamn studio and talk about, like, I can do it again. Y'all, let's talk about the Grand Opera House, Chicago. And if you never heard of it, well, that's because it ain't here no more. And we'll get to that point. But got a lot of history with this place. It was a theater. It was an opera place. It was a movie theater, not just a theater, a movie theater.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. And I must say, this is turmoil for this location. So
really,
you'll get into it. You'll see. So it opened up in 1875, just a few years after the.
I remember when we talked about this
last week.
Yes,
briefly.
But also before when we talked about the auditorium.
So. It opened up in 1875 as the Coliseum on 119 North Clark Street. Keep that in mind if you know your addresses here in Chicago.
What is that?
By John A. Hamlin. And this is where it's going to be a running theme. Just don't look.
I'm just looking at the address.
Don't look it up.
Okay.
That's part of the story. Put the shit down.
If you know your address.
Yeah, if you know your address, just wait. 1878, the theater was renovated. By Dankmar Adler. Mm-hmm. We've heard this name before.
Billion times.
This time it was ran by John's brother, Harry L. Hamlin.
Okay.
And it only cost about $55,000 to renovate this. Okay.
That's still a decent chunk of money for that time, 1878.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now here's why the change kind of happened. Because when it first came out, it didn't have a good reputation.
Right.
It was kind of bullshit. Right, like they was showing bullshit there. It wasn't really nothing really going on. So his brother had to take over, which that had to be a hard family conversation.
Yeah,
but when he took over, it started thriving.
Right.
Yeah, it really started thriving. It was doing well. Matter of fact, it was doing so well. Let's see if our listeners are paying attention. First fun fact. The theater had 2 major releases for kids theater and production and play.
Yeah.
1902, The Wizard of Oz debuted as a play here in Chicago. And of course, y'all know where that went. It became a movie later, I believe. 1916 or something like that, became a movie.
Just a heads up, $55,000 in 1878 is $1.7 million today.
So that was expensive, but
it's an expensive renovation.
Yeah, it was.
It's not
that's not really. Yeah, I was gonna say that's nothing.
Theater, yeah.
1903, year after Wizard of Oz, Babes in Toyland debuted here in Chicago. Another big one. Now, so we already got one change, right?
Yeah.
1978, 1975 to 78, 1912, it changed again. George M. Cohen took over and renamed it the George M. Cohen's Grand Opera House. Okay,
that's a dumb name.
When you own shit, I'm sorry, it's mine.
Your name isn't even that cool.
Here's the thing,
George Cohen.
It still had Grand Opera House was the big title, but it just had George M. Cohen, right? Yeah. Look, back in the day, I'm letting you know this my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you could put a statue of yourself inside. You don't gotta rename.
Not a statue. A statue was a little bit a bust. They was doing bust back in the day, by the way. You know, they was just
a bust.
Motherfuckers just had that top up.
Yeah, just a chest up.
Chest up. That's it.
Don't show my stomach.
Yeah, don't put that in there.
Don't put my stomach in none of that.
The sculptor up here doing a big ass circle for your shit. You see him now? I'll start over with a little button, the belly button.
No, I need oval shapes only.
Did they have Audis back in the day? Because if I was a sculptor, I'm definitely putting your Audi in there.
Probably kept that umbilical cord to adulthood.
Why this person's penis all the way up here?
Damn. When did they start cutting? I'm sure they had to be cutting umbilical cords from the beginning.
Right. Who had the first Audi?
You think that's documented?
Look, it had to be, because if you imagine you the doctor,
and you're like, oops.
Ooh,
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've heard that Audis are a result of the way that the umbilical cord is cut, but I don't think that's true. I think it's genetic.
It's because you eat too much. You'll just start to pump.
As a baby.
But you can tell who had food. Who you tell
Can
who
you
ain't,
pop it back in when they're born?
You ain't never missed a meal.
Damn.
Stop doing this.
Damn. All they do is eat.
You about to burst from the inside.
Pause.
1926. It was reconstructed again.
How many renovations?
Hold on, we ain't even done. I think I'm about halfway through.
Okay.
By Andrew Rabori and reopened under a new name, Four Cohens. Four Cohens. Okay. Fun fact.
Number 4.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact about who Andrew Rabori is or was. Yeah, it did. Fucked me up, man. He was a member of the School of Architecture, Chicago School of Architecture. If you remember, it's just the buildings that kind of like were leading a generation of new architecture in Chicago. So he's a part of that quote unquote school.
What's the street in the financial district that's like
LaSalle.
a good example? Yeah, LaSalle is a good example of like multiple buildings that are in that school. Of
He had some work.
architecture.
He had some work on that was actually the first school of architecture.
Right.
Yeah. So he got some work done there, but his notable work is CBS Studios.
Oh,
Yeah, CBS Studio right over there. You know what that is, where the architect, the statue is, and then the Madonna della Strada Chapel at Loyola. Now here's why I put that on there, because it's a beautiful chapel, and that's also where my sister got married.
it is a beautiful one. I've only seen pictures of it. I haven't been inside, but
It's beautiful.
It looks
beautiful,
really
beautiful
nice.
chapel.
Yeah.
Now, 1928. Guess what?
Another takeover.
Another takeover. The Sherbert family took over. Schubert, thank you. I'm about to have an Audi.
Stop it.
The Schubert family took over as sole owners, and they changed the name again.
To what?
Back to the Grand
thank God.
Opera House here in Chicago. And
That's a lot of changes in 60 years.
yeah,
Like
we're not done. You said what? Now
shit
here
was doomed from the beginning.
it really was.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. As it's doing, the reason why there's a bunch of changes, and I know I'm kind of sliding by, but like it didn't change. It wasn't doing well, right? It was doing well for a little bit, because these time periods is short. You know what I mean? We went from 1912 to 1928. You know what I mean? And had actually we went from 26 to 28.
If we're thinking about it, built in 1875,
Mm-hmm.
right? You had the little fire, right?
Yep.
And then obviously, like, must have not been.
What you mean?
Yeah,
What you
so
saying?
it was built after the fire.
Yeah, it was
right?
built
So
after the fire.
We're like rebuilding the city, whatever. It probably thrived until for a decade.
It
or
didn't
two.
thrive. That's the thing. It was, I guess, thriving. It stayed open.
Yeah.
Right. But it wasn't good. It didn't have a reputable.
It started so soon after the fire. Probably people were still like you couldn't afford to go to a theater,
right. You couldn't.
right?
So they were letting all kind of shenanigans go on.
Yeah.
It was like it was dumb shit up in there.
Right,
So it wasn't
right.
when the second brother took over, Harry took over,
Yeah.
he had like comedy, vaudeville type stuff up in there.
Yeah.
He brought like actual good plays in productions. Obviously, Wizard of Oz, Babes in Toyland.
Yeah.
And
but then we had World War One
right.
immediately after that from
Right.
through
But-
1914.
But people still needed a place to go, and like so, it was doing like a slow increase, right? And then it will flatline increase,
Yeah.
because I feel like people just got tired of like
Yeah.
owning shit.
And I think a lot of theaters were opening around that time, so I bet you competition was really hard. I mean, you had the all the like refrigerated movie theaters,
And this was not one of the larger ones too.
Right.
It was 1750, so 1800. Wasn't a lot of people
Yeah.
compared to other ones. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that was 1,000. You know what I mean?
like the early 1900s where a ton of theaters opened in Chicago. So.
Yeah, I should say this opened. It also opened up as the Coliseum.
Right.
So in 1875, it did open up as the Coliseum. Now, the Schubert Theater, right? I mean, the Schubert family, right? So the Schubert family took over. They renamed the Grand Opera, turned it back to. Do you know what they're known for? Look at me.
I don't know what
You up here trying to read?
trying to look at
Yeah. They were known for establishing New York City's Broadway district.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's who they are. So they really
Interesting.
brought Broadway to America. You know what I mean? Like
Wow.
they really paved the way for it. And that lasted for a little while. 1942, RKO Pictures purchased it.
I'm assuming movie theater then.
Movie theater, yes. And this is very, very smart. So they remodeled, they reestablished, and the whole time every time they did a remodel, it was getting better and better and better, right?
Right.
For what it was for at that point, right? So they changed it to a movie theater. Which complete sidebar. Did you know that the theater over in the South Loop, that little marketplace area where they closed down like the day after we did the reel?
Oh yeah.
They're reopening, and AMC took over. AMC took over.
Oh, okay.
Opening up early 2025. So, yeah, it's pretty dope. We were like, a movie theater got to take it. Because I'm sure it's only built for a movie theater.
Right.
That'd be horrible to demolish, especially in that little area.
For sure.
So, good to hear. But anyway, this one, RKO Pictures, took it, and guess what? They renamed it RKO Theater.
Right.
Fun fact, because I was like, who are these people that's doing this? So that's why we got all these fun facts. Fun fact, did you know the RKO movie group was one of the top 5 movie theaters studios in Hollywood's golden age?
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the big ones. And they did things like a bunch of Disney movies back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, like a bunch of Disney things. And one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are they still around or
They are not. They've been gone for almost 70 years. I think like 66 years. Yeah, they've been defunct. But in 1958, it was demolished.
Yeah.
It was demolished because they kind of went. I mean, obviously, we know Chicago was like the mecca, the start of movies, right? But RKO was a Hollywood type of thing. They came here, so like they demolished the shit, right? But they demolished it in 1965. A new building went up. It was called the Chicago Civic Center. Was completed.
Oh wow!
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
You think that's cool, right? In 1976, it was changed again.
To what?
That building stayed.
Okay.
But it was renamed. Now here's the big payoff, y'all. I've been waiting to get to this point. It was renamed the Richard J. Daley Center.
Oh.
December 27th, 1976, 7 days after he died. And if you know, the Richard J. Daley Center is what's in that location. You don't know what that is. You off the top of your head? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. That's what was right there.
Wow.
So every time you go to the Picasso, you were by one of Chicago's most legendary theaters.
That's crazy. Also, to think that it was demolished in 58, you said?
58.
58. So we're about 8 years removed from the landmarking process in Chicago, like for Chicago's ordinance for landmarking. And for those of you that saw the little thing I wrote about it in our Substack, you might have learned that Illinois was landmarking, but it basically meant nothing. Like you could still change the building, you could still do whatever, and it was Daley that kind of he was resistant to it in the beginning. There was an alderman that was kind of working towards he was, I think, the 12th district or something. I forgot his name, but he was working towards making landmarking actually mean something, and there to be consequences to people that mess with landmarked status buildings.
Yeah,
and it was in the late 60s, where Daley was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let's
fuck it, just do it, man.
Just do it.
Get off my ass, man.
And it was the first thing he proposed was $500 per day for any renovation that is done that changes the integrity of a landmark status building from the owner or anyone else. So it used to be that, like, I own this building, I could do whatever I want with it, even if it's a landmark building, but not anymore after the 60s.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have landmarks.
Yeah.
And this was at a time where, like, there was a lot of concern for those because buildings were being demolished. It was like historic buildings were just being demolished, and people that wanted to preserve the history were like, okay, we gotta save these buildings somehow. So there was a lot of, if you have a Chicago Library card, you can actually go on their archives and you can access like all of the Chicago newspaper archives.
Mm-hmm.
And all I do is I type Chicago Public Library newspaper archives, and you just have to log in with your card membership number, like your card ID number. And you can, in the little search button, you can search whatever topic you want. And I just searched Chicago landmarks, and I changed the date range to like the 60s. And there's so much, and I linked some of them in that Substack if you want to check them out. But there's just so much cool information.
Yeah.
That like it was mind blowing, and I'm sure there was talks of this theater in there that was being demolished in the 50s.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of stuff, like, because it would be interesting to see what their thought process was.
Yeah.
Even
maybe I'll pull that and I'll put it in our stories.
Yeah, because that'd be good to know,
to show what was going on at the time and what was the conversation around it, because
this shit is crazy right here.
It's really cool. And the Tribune was around when it opened, wasn't it? When did the Tribune start? I forget. Like 1880s, 1890s?
It was no. It started before the fire.
Oh
so,
it was.
It started like 18.
Yeah, so the Tribune was obviously around.
18.
So maybe there's a
40.
Tribune article about its opening day and then like maybe the demolished day. I'll put those in our stories if you check on our Instagram, and then I'll add it to the highlight if you miss it on Monday.
Yeah.
So check that out.
Yeah. But there you have it, the Chicago Grand Opera House.
Yeah, so
and
go take a picture by the Picasso.
Yeah, right.
The Chicago Grand Opera.
You know, I never thought about that. I never even thought like that area.
What was there?
Was there? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and we even did. You know what's crazy? We part of the exhibit we are at the Chicago Architect Center.
Mm-hmm.
We specifically talked about that area.
We did.
And how now, granted, it was demolished. You know, before Daley passed, a lot before Daley was passed, almost 20 years, but still,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he ran the city for a long time. So that's wild that is in that location.
Yeah.
So
there was some sort of an obsession to like modernize the city at some point.
He wanted that space specifically was meant to be like a common ground to modernize downtown area, to give us a space. That's why you have, that's fun. I guess this is tied to the subject matter, but that's why you have the little benches down there. And the space is so open. That's why the food trucks are down there. Right. And I mentioned CBS in there. That's why CBS is across the street. So I mean, like, it's pretty cool to.
I think there's like a really good balance between not turning a city into a museum and preserving its history at the same time. I mean, I don't know who the powers that be that decide what building gets to be saved and what doesn't is not. I'm glad that's not my job, because I'd be like, let's save all of it. Like,
right, for real.
Like, I'm too sentimental to demolish a building. I'll always find something in it that's like beautiful and historic and deserves to be saved. But yeah, I feel like there's always like a good balance between those two, and it's like it's amazing that we have so much cool history that we get to
Chicago got a lot of cool history, and we did, honestly, as much as we've done, we still got a lot left.
There's so much.
We got so much that we just been busy. Like, that's why. Sorry, no video. We should say this at the top, but I mean, we just been busy with a lot of things.
You know what it is too? It's like sometimes I'm overwhelmed by the amount of history that there is that we could talk about. It's like, how do you even pick?
Yes.
Every week I'm like, how do we pick the topic?
What story do we tell right now?
There's so many cool stories. There's so many incredible people. I know we went on a run of like interviewing people, so we wanted to do a few where it was just the two of us, because some people always say like, "Oh,
we just like y'all."
We like the episodes where we go crazy and we just it's just cussing
except for the mamas out there. Some of these.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Some of these suburban moms would be like, "Ugh, I can't listen to this with my son." Is that what you're doing?
I mean, any mom, I would be like, this is very inappropriate.
But
depends on the age of the child.
It's us.
I feel like once they hit 10, it's fine. They, you just teach them these are words you can use in the house, and words you can't use in the house.
Use it like how we did.
No, I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you how to raise your child.
Just not in a public setting.
Right. Well,
look at us. We ain't shit because both of us. Anyway, I'm done talking.
If you enjoyed this episode, please send it to someone you love. Go explore your little city, and not little, it's the third largest, but
city.
Go explore, go out, go get some food, go walk around your neighborhood. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, for real.
Some neighborhoods are decorating for the holidays, and it looks absolutely gorgeous.
Shout out to Lincoln Square.
Yeah.
Man,
gorgeous.
They going crazy.
So if you did enjoy today's episode, please send it to someone you love. So write us a comment, tell us what your favorite part was, and if you did not, check back Thursday for a rerun or Monday for a brand new episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media@77flavorsshy. That's the number 77 flavors and shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.